Hello and welcome to Fundamentals of Multi-platform Frontend Development module. In today's digital age, the demand for applications that operate smoothly across desktops, tablets, and smartphones, regardless of the operating system, is skyrocketing. Whether it is iOS, Android, or web platforms, users expect a consistent experience. Multi-platform development offers significant advantages: code reusability, faster development cycles, reduced maintenance costs, and ability to reach a broader audience. This approach ensures your application can meet users' needs on any device. One powerful tool that facilitates this process is FlutterFlow. FlutterFlow is a visual application development platform that empowers developers to create multi-platform applications efficiently. Even with limited coding experience, you are onboarded. Unlike traditional development methods that require separate code bases for different platforms, FlutterFlow allows you for a unified code base, simplifying the development process and enhancing productivity. We crafted this module to help you understand multi-platform app development concepts. The terminologies and concepts you learn here provide a high-level overview of the core development principles you will need. As you progress through this course and start building FlutterFlow, we will dive into more specific details in later modules. We will start from key concept and architecture. Then we move to state management and we learn what state means and what is a state management. So we're going to move to API ingestion and modeling so that you will understand the core concept behind them. And also we will review data persistency. We will also review authentication and authorization and when to use which. Then we will go through the concept of collaboration and analytics, and followed by debugging and testing your applications. And at the end of this module, we're going to go through the build, what it means, distribute, what does it mean, and how it works, and also release management. Let's get started. In traditional app development, developers often maintain multiple code bases for platforms like iOS, Android, and web. This approach can be time-consuming and prone to inconsistencies. Modern multi-platform development frameworks such as Flutter, which is what FlutterFlow uses under the hood, help to build and target multi-platforms with a single code base that run seamlessly on iOS, Android, and the web. This will simplify the development process and ensuring consistency. One of the foundational principles in app development is the client-server model, which is especially important in mobile development. This architecture separates the client, the device you use to access the app, like your phone, your tablet, and browser, from the backend that runs the server, which is a computer that handles data and manages resources. The client handles the app's user interfaces and interactions. This means your device manages everything you see and touch on your screen. Meanwhile, the backend on the server processes your requests, manages data, keeps things running smoothly, and sends back a response to the client. To communicate, your device needs an internet connection. Whether you send a message, check the weather, or stream a video, your device sends a request over the internet to the server, which processes it and sends the necessary information back to your device. Let's take a look at a real example. An online store is a real example of the client-server model. The client, your browser, or mobile app displays product listings and allows you to place orders. The server handles product details, inventory management, payment processing, order status, updates, and more. Now let's talk about responsiveness. Responsiveness is critical to a great user experience, especially in multi-platform development. A responsive design adapts to various screen sizes and orientations, ensuring your app looks great and functions well on any device. And now let's talk about component-driven development. Component-driven development involves breaking down the UI into reusable components. Each component encapsulates a specific functionality, making your code more modular and easier to maintain. Reusability and maintainability are critical for long-term project successes. Creating reusable components and maintaining a clean code base can save time and reduce the risk of bugs. You will learn more about this in the upcoming modules. State refers to the data determining what is displayed on the user interface. When the state changes, the UI updates to reflect these changes. This ensures that your app responds smoothly to user actions and data updates, providing an engaging experience. A typical application has two types of states: local state and app states. Local state refers to data managed within a specific component or widget, meaning changes to this state only affect the widget itself. App state, often called global states, refers to data shared across the entire application. Changes to the app state can impact multiple pages and components or widgets that rely on these shared data. Let's consider an e-commerce app example. An example of a local state is the quantity selector for a product. The quantities state, current value, is managed within the quantity component in the product detail component or page. The app state in our e-commerce app might be the user authentication status. Once a user logs in, this information is shared across various app parts such as the nav bar showing the user profile, access to the user-specific settings, and their shopping carts. These states often interact. For example, adding a product to the cart updates the local state of the quantity selector and the app state of the cart contents and may trigger a server state update to persist this change. State management refers to how an application handles these states, ensuring that changes in data are efficiently and accurately reflected in the user interface. FlutterFlow helps you find the best balance between keeping your state clean and managed. You will learn more about state management in the FlutterFlow in the upcoming modules. In the client-server model, a request usually goes to server and a response is sent back to the client. In other words, the front end of an application needs to fetch data from the backend. APIs are commonly used to achieve this. APIs serve many purposes, but their primary function is to fetch data from external sources and integrate various services into your application. They bridge your application and external data sources by sending requests and receiving responses. There are different types of API requests. Let's start with the most common ones. GET requests fetch data, POST requests send new data, PUT requests update existing data, and delete requests remove data. Understanding these requests is essential for interacting with APIs effectively. When a server defines these operations and adheres to principles, it is known as a RESTful API. APIs return data in different formats, but the typical format is JSON. Let's take a look at JSON. JSON is a lightweight data interchangeable format that's easy for humans to read and write and for machines to parse and generate. Here's an example of fetching data from an API using a GET request. This code snippet demonstrates how to send a request and handle the response in your application. Once you've fetched the data, the next step is to model it within your application. Data modeling involves mapping the JSON response to structured objects that your application can use more easily. Let's look at the practical example of an e-commerce app in FlutterFlow. The app sends a GET request to fetch product data. The API responds with a JSON object containing product details, then mapped to a product model within the app. This model is used to display product information on the user interface. Handling errors and validating data when working with APIs are also essentials. This ensures your app can handle issues like network failure or invalid data formats gracefully. Let's now move on to the next video to see how we can persist data in an application. Data persistence refers to the techniques used to retain user data across sessions, ensuring app continuity and enhancing user experience. Imagine an e-commerce app that remembers your preferred payment method, keeps track of the item in your wish list, and stores your order history. Data persistence ensures that these preferences and data are not lost when app is closed and the device is restarted. Several data storage techniques exist in applications. Each method has its use cases and benefits. Local storage stores small amounts of data, such as user preferences or simple app states. For example, your preferred theme mode can be stored locally for quick access. A database is often used for complex data storage needs, such as user data or app content. In an e-commerce app, databases can manage large volumes of structured data, such as product details, user accounts, and transaction histories. File storage helps store larger files, such as images, videos, or documents. In an e-commerce app, this could include product images, user uploaded content, or digital invoices. All right, now that we learned about databases, let's learn about one of the most important topics in multi-platform development, authentication and authorization, in the next video. Authentication and authorization, two fundamental cores of building secure applications. Authentication is the process of verifying a user's identity, which is vital for protecting user data and maintaining the security of your application. It ensures that user information is safeguarded and only accessible by the rightful owner. There are several standard authentication methods. Anonymous authentication allows users to interact with your application without permanent credentials by creating temporary anonymous accounts. This benefits users who want to test services before committing to an account. If a user decides to sign up later, their anonymous account can be upgraded to a regular account, preserving their data and interactions. Anonymous sessions are isolated with strict permissions to prevent sensitive features or data access. When upgrading to a full account, secure practices link the anonymous data to the new profile, ensuring no data leakage or unauthorized access. The email login method involves user registering with an email address and password. Securing in this approach is enhanced through email verification, where a link or code is sent to the user's email to confirm ownership. I bet you have seen that already. This step prevents unauthorized account creation and ensures that the user can recover their account and receive important communications. Another method is phone authentication, where a user phone's number is used for identity verification. Upon registration or logging in, the user receives a text message with a verification code that must be entered to proceed. This method leverages the security of mobile networks and the uniqueness of phone numbers to ensure that the person attempting access is the account's legitimate owner. OAuth is a popular authentication protocol that enables users to authorize one application to interact with another on their behalf without revealing their password. This method is commonly used to allow applications to access service features or user information from other services, such as logging into a third-party app using Google or Facebook credentials. Using OAuth, the user's login credentials stay secure with the original service provider, and only specific permissions are granted to the third-party apps via access tokens. This approach minimizes the risk of exposing sensitive user data and streamlines the login process across various platforms. API key authentication is commonly used for server-to-server interactions. An API key is an unique identifier that provides secure access to the API endpoints. While authentication verifies a user's identity, authorization determines what an authenticated user can do. It's about controlling access to resources based on user roles and permissions. Role-based access control, or RBAC, assigns permissions based on user roles. For example, an admin might have full access to all features, while a regular user has limited access, and a guest has even fewer permissions. In an e-commerce app, authentication ensures that users can securely log in, while authorization controls what they can do once logged in. Customers can browse and purchase products, sellers can manage their listings, and admins can oversee the platform. All right, the next video is about branching and how it can be used to manage codes and track changes in an application. Let's get into it. Effective collaboration in multi-platform development ensures that a part of the app and code is well organized and that team members can work together efficiently. Key features of this collaboration includes version control, branching, and merging, and conflict resolution. These features help manage changes from multiple contributors and keep the application development flow consistent. But let me explain what each of them means. Version control allows you to track the history of changes, revert to the previous version, and manage concurrent updates. This is essential for maintaining a reliable and stable application development flow, especially when multiple developers work on the same project. Branching allows developers to work on new features or bug fixes without affecting the main code base, which is the source of truth. Think of the main application track or code base as your application's central flow. When you create a branch, you copy the main flow to work on a new feature or fix an issue. This means you can develop independently without disturbing the main code. For example, in an e-commerce application, suppose your team is adding a new wishlist feature. You create a branch from the main codebase or application to work on this feature. While you work on the wish list in this branch, other developers can continue improving the checkout process or integrating a new payment gateway in their branches. Once the wishlist feature is complete and tested, you can merge this branch into the main codebase seamlessly, integrating the new functionality without disturbing the ongoing work on the other features. A merge conflict occurs when multiple team members make changes to same part of the project, such as simultaneously modifying the same screen, widget, or configuration. For example, imagine two developers, Alice and Bob, working on same FlutterFlow project and both decide to update the same button widget. Her updates will be integrated without issues when Alice's changes are merged into the main project. However, when Bob tries to merge these changes afterward, a merge conflict will occur because Alice has already modified the button text and color. You can use tools to help you identify the conflicts, resolve them, and ensure that new changes can be merged. You will learn about this in FlutterFlow in the upcoming modules. Collaboration also involves change review, where team members review each other's changes, discuss changes, and ensure quality before merging contributions. This process helps catch errors, improve quality, and share knowledge among team members, leading to a robust and reliable application. Let's now go to the next video where we will discuss analytics and its role in application development. Analytics involves collecting and analyzing data to understand user behavior and improve applications' performance. It is essential for making improved decisions and enhancing user experience. There are several types of analytics. User behavior analytics track how users interact with your application. Performance analytics monitors app speed and responsiveness. And crash analytics help identify and fix errors. Popular tools for implementing analytics include Google Analytics for tracking user behavior and Firebase for real-time data and crash reporting. A key aspect of analytics is understanding and optimizing product conversion funnels. This funnel tracks users' stages from discovering your product to purchasing. The stages typically include awareness, interests, decision, and actions. Some small changes in your app, such as improving call to action button or simplifying the checkout process, can significantly improve or impact conversion rates. Analytics help identifying where users drop off in the funnel, allowing you to make data-driven optimization. In an e-commerce app, you can use analytics to track how users move through the product conversions funnel. You can identify bottlenecks and implement targeted improvements to boost conversions rate by analyzing user behavior at each stage. Let's go to the next video for another important topic, which is debugging. Debugging is identifying, analyzing, and fixing bugs or issues in your application. It is a critical part of development lifecycle to ensure a smooth user experience. Debugging is important because it takes up significant development time. Being efficient and effective in debugging can significantly enhance productivity and ensure a stable application. Adopting a systematic approach to debugging is essential. This involves isolating a bug, understanding code flow and state, applying a fix, and testing the solution to ensure the issues is resolved. Firstly, isolate the bug by identifying where and when it occurs. Secondly, learn the code flow and state to understand the bug's causes. Then fix the bug by making necessary code changes. Finally, test the solution to confirm that issue is resolved. While debugging is very important, Testing is another important subject, which we will talk about it in the next video. Testing is an essential step in the software development lifecycle. It ensures that your application functions correctly, is bug-free, provides a smooth user experience, and is generally maintained over time. Several types of testing should be incorporated into your development process. Unit testing, which tests individual components, integration testing, which checks if components work together, and end-to-end testing, which validates the entire user journey. Both automated and manual testing are important in the modern front-end development process. Automated testing uses scripts and tools to perform tests quickly and repeatedly, while manual testings involve human testers exploring the app. FlutterFlow makes it easy to create automated testing. You will learn more about this in the testing module. Automating the build process is crucial for ensuring multi-platform compatibility. But first, let's see what build means. Building an application means converting source code into a format that can be installed and run on a device or in a browser. Each platform requires a set of requirements and a toolchain to perform the build and create an installable or runnable app. For multi-platform development, this process creates distinct versions of your app for iOS, Android, and web platforms. Once built, your app needs to be distributed to reach users. This involves deploying your app through various channels, such as the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, enterprise deployments, and web-based distributions. Each platform has its submission guidelines and requirements. Adhering to specific guidelines and policies is crucial for navigating App Store approvals. Preparing detailed documentation and complying with platform requirements are key to expecting the approval process from the Apple Store, Google Play, and other stores. Automating this build process ensures compatibility across all platforms. Continuous integration and continuous deployment (CI/CD) pipelines can facilitate building and testing, ensuring consistent and efficient build across iOS, Android, and web platforms. Luckily, as a FlutterFlow user, the heavy lifting part of this pipeline is managed for you. Versioning is essential for managing updates and maintaining compatibility. Semantic versioning helps communicate the nature of changes in each release, whether major updates, minor improvement, or patches and bug fixes. Regular updates are important for security, performance, and user satisfaction, not to say that you also want to deploy latest and greatest app for your user.